which One Piece couple can you see coming true? Some of them are very possible to become a reality, while others are straight up garbage. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oda does not give them more fuel in the coming years. For example, let's start with the main protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy. As we saw, Luffy's not exactly the type who would really start flirting or even pursue a woman. Some fans even asked Oda if Luffy is interested in any gender to begin with. As you know, Luffy had Boa simping for him and he did not even care. Oda's reply was that, yeah, Luffy is indeed interested in women, he just doesn't care for the time being, as he's too occupied with his real goals. So Luffy ending up getting married before One Piece ends is a very likely scenario. One of the fan theories that has to do with Luffy's future partner states that Luffy and Nico Robin will become a couple. Even though both characters love each other, I'm pretty sure this relationship is more of a platonic one, rather than a romantic one. For each ship, we will be ranking it based on how likely it is to come out true. For this ship, we would rank it in D tier. But another Straw Hat that has many more chances of ending up with Luffy is Nami. You see, Nami does indeed seem much closer to Luffy. From the epic moment that Luffy gave her the Straw Hat, to this moment in the Zou arc, where Nami was seen blushing when hugging Luffy. There are quite a few moments that Luffy and Nami were seen particularly close. However, a driving factor that makes me doubt this theory is the fact that Oda stated that, quote, there will be no romance between the Straw Hats. Although there is a small chance that Oda is lying, I don't believe this theory will end up coming true. We place this ship in B tier. Plus, Luffy has another future partner candidate that seems much more likely to come true. You see, Boa Hancock is without any doubt obsessed with Luffy. She even learned how to cook meat just so she can prepare food for Luffy. I mean, Boa even cooked this special subscribe button just for you to click. Go on, give it a go. But back to Luffy and Boa. Even though Luffy currently does not seem that much romantically interested in her, this might change in the future. Because of that, we place this ship in S tier. Next, we have one couple ship that made the whole One Piece fandom be at each other's throats. You see, a lot of fuss has been going around Yamato and whether she's a woman or not. Because of that night she spent with Ace, a debate was sparked whether the two of them were romantically involved with each other or not. Some say it was just a platonic relationship where the two of them bond, while others claim the two of them were in love. Due to this controversy, we rank this in B tier. But here's a relationship that most people weren't aware of. As it turns out, the two of them are a confirmed couple. That couple being Shakky and Rayleigh. You see, the two of them are not only together, but have actually been married for multiple years now. Shakky was an empress of Amazon Lily and captain of the Kuja Pirates, but she gave up the life of a pirate 42 years ago to open a bar. At some point, she suffered love sickness and married Silver's Rayleigh. A popular theory even claims that they even had a child. According to this theory, the child is Mihawk, which to be honest does make sense if you think about it. Not only would that explain Mihawk's strength, but it would also explain how Shanks and Mihawk are both rivals and friends. After all, if that is true, that makes Mihawk the son of Shanks' former vice captain. We place this ship in S tier. But how about the complete opposite ship of the one we just mentioned? Meaning that a ship that is known by almost everyone, but at the same time, it never happened and probably never will. You see, Sanji has been trying to get along with Nami for pretty much ever since he met her. Although this can be said about pretty much every woman Sanji meets, the couple theory of Sanji and Nami is indeed quite popular. But knowing Oda, and from the general energy of this dynamic, I would very much doubt this will come true. We placed it in D tier. How about Sanji and Nico Robin then? Another popular theory among the fandom, but for the exact same reasons, I highly doubt this is going to come true. As much as Sanji wishes for that, I think there are much better suited candidates for him. This ship was placed in D tier as well. But before we get to the main candidates for Sanji, I unfortunately have to speak about this ship as well. I hate to bring this up, but apparently there are people out there who saw this as a ship that could come out to be true. Apparently, some fans shipped Sanji and Reiju. They even went ahead to ask Oda in an SBS, why doesn't Sanji get hard eyes whenever he sees Reiju? After all, she is beautiful, right? In which Oda replied with, because she's his sister? I'm not going to expand further. This goes in D tier. If there was a lower tier than that, oh, you could be sure it'd be going even lower. I mean, what were these fans even thinking? You see, Sanji has two main candidates when looking at his future partner. The first one is Pudding. Truth be told, Sanji almost ended up marrying her. However, Pudding had never seen Sanji romantically up until that moment. She even planned to kill him during their wedding. The only reason she agreed in marrying him was because this was a part of Big Mom's plan to become Pirate Queen. But afterwards, after Pudding got to know Sanji and his behavior, we saw the dynamic began shifting, and Pudding actually started seeing Sanji differently. Could they end up together? Maybe. We place this ship in B tier. But the most likely partner for Sanji is of course Viola. You see, even though the two of them started off on the wrong foot, this surely changed later on. Initially, Viola regarded Sanji as nothing but another target to be hunted down, and an easy one at that, given his severe vulnerability to women. However, after using her devil fruit abilities, she learned that he trusted her even after being betrayed, and had only earnest intentions in helping her. This caused her to start seeing Sanji differently, and thus why this theory is the most popular one when it comes to Sanji's future wife. We rank this in A tier. Here's a couples theory that you're either gonna love or hate. If you've been following One Piece theories for some time now, it is certain beyond any doubt you've at least stumbled upon the theory stating that Crocodile used to be a woman, and even more than that, Luffy's mother. Well, to this, I will only add that not only are there quite a few instances strongly hinting that Crocodile used to be a woman, in the live action, this woman right here does seem awfully close to Crocodile. So I am actually convinced at this point it's true. So why do I mention it? Because this couple theory states that Crocodile is Luffy's mom, and because of that, Crocodile used to be in a relationship with Dragon. We place this theory in A tier. Moving on to Chopper. As confirmed by Oda, Chopper does not feel romantically attracted to humans, and thus any normal human is automatically out of the equation. This leaves us with two main candidates for him. The first one being Carrot. Being part of the Minx clan, Carrot is a mix of animal and human, making her something very similar to Chopper. But is she the most likely partner for Chopper? No, and that's because we will reveal the prime candidate next. For this ship, we rank it in B tier. A far more likely partner for Chopper is Milky. Just like Carrot, Milky is also part of the Minx clan, but what makes her an even more ideal partner for Chopper are these 5 following facts. The first is that Milky is the only named female member of the Guardians. The reason for that might be that she will play an important role later on in the series. Secondly, Milky was named through an SBS prior to her first appearance. Plus, her name along with a picture of her can be seen on the back of a Mink Tribe member shirt on this manga panel, way before she actually appears, showing that Oda had her planned and possibly even had an important future role for her. The third important clue we get is that she is a reindeer mink. What better match for a reindeer human other than a reindeer mink? The fourth clue is that Tony Chopper is shown to find her attractive, even behaving in a Sanji-like manner around her, which surely indicated that Chopper is more than open to this possibility. Finally, the fifth clue we have about this ship is the fact that the idea of Chopper finding a beautiful female reindeer attractive was even mentioned in an SBS question. We place this ship in S tier. On to Zoro, that has 4 different potential partners. The first one is Perona. You see, some fans claim that there was no way that Zoro was just fighting monkeys for 2 years straight. After all, Perona was there with him. Because of that, they went on to claim that Perona and Zoro are actually a thing. I must admit, I don't think this is the most convincing theory, so I'm gonna place it in C tier. After all, some of the candidates have way more chances to end up with Zoro instead. The second candidate for Zoro is Nico Robin. Their whole energy matches, and given that Robin is basically something like a mother figure to Chopper, while Zoro is something like a father figure to him, this did lead many fans to ship them together. If Oda did not state that none of the Straw Hats would end up together, we could maybe give them a better rank, but because of that, we place them in C tier. The next theory about Zoro's future partner is Tashigi. The main reason for that is the fact that she resembles Kuina way too much. But to this, I would have to point out that even if it is true, Zoro was in no way in love with Kuina, but rather saw her as his best friend, and at the same time, rival. This ship goes in C tier too. Next up, the ship that I believe has the most chances coming true when it comes to Zoro. This is none other than Hiyori. Zoro helped her when she was being pursued by Kamazo, and the two slowly bonded when she in turn helped tend to the wound Zoro sustained. We place this in B tier. For our next couple, let's take a step back from the Straw Hats and speak about Vivi and Koza. The two of them grew up together, and even though we didn't see much of them, they did seem pretty close. Truth be told, I can't find a better match for Vivi, so if Oda decides to give Vivi a partner, Koza is probably the main candidate. This ship is placed in A tier. We already mentioned 3 possible partners for Nico Robin: Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro. But was this the end of it? Far from it, because there are 3 more people that the One Piece fandom theorizes with Nico Robin. One of them is Frankie. Even though, again, their energy matches, I wouldn't count too much on that theory for the same reasons that I don't believe Robin will end up with Zoro or Sanji or Luffy. This ship goes down in C tier. Is the next ship more likely? Well, not quite, because the next in line to be shipped with Robin is Jinbei. The two of them are the most serious members of the Straw Hat crew. Smart, composed, and seem to get along very well. But once again, Jinbei being part of the Straw Hats, I don't think this theory is gonna come true. This ship goes again into C tier. Now, the ship, however, that matches the most when it comes to Nico Robin is this, Trafalgar Law. The two of them spoke quite a few times in private and seemed to hit it off pretty well. After all, Robin was very much interested in Law's D. You know, as in the initial. Plus, watch this picture and tell me you don't think that the way Robin sees Law is kinda different than normal. This ship goes in A tier. We spoke quite a bit about future ships ships. But how about previous non-confirmed ones? You see, Weevil was self-proclaimed as the son of Whitebeard, with his mother Buckingham being the one who started this rumor. Plus, Buckingham and Whitebeard were part of the same pirates crew, the Rocks Pirates. Although I find it difficult that Weevil is indeed Whitebeard's biological son, I'm not going to completely reject this theory. This ship belongs in B tier. So far, we pretty much covered all Straw Hats besides Brook and Usopp. For Brook, I don't think there are any viable solutions since, well, how should I put it? Nothing's left of him besides bones. When it comes to Usopp now, I do have two theories revolving around him. The first one being Nami. Among all the ships we covered that have to do with Nami, this is arguably the worst one. It goes straight down to D tier. A partner for Usopp, though, that has great chances of becoming true is Kaya. Besides the two of them being very close in the anime and manga, in the live action, their relationship went a step further, with the two of them sharing a kiss scene. So, in other words, this ship is as good as it gets, and thus deserves to be placed in S tier. Next in our list is Sabo and Koala. Both of them are part of the Revolutionary Army, and the two of them are among the only members that are not only young, but both of them are around the same age. Sabo is 22, while Koala is 23, so it could make sense for them to end up together. If Oda decides to give any of them a partner, then this is probably how they would end up. We place this in A tier. Next, let's bring another fan favorite ship that has to do with Perona. To be honest, this is probably even worse than the one that had to do with Zoro and Perona. This theory states that Mihawk and Perona will end up together. After all, Perona did seem to seek Mihawk's attention and even stayed at his castle for over 2 years, which resulted in fans coming up with a ship. We place it in C tier. Coming up, Buggy. If you had to choose a partner for him, then which one would you choose? Well, the only viable option for him is Alvida. After all, the two of them did form a partnership, even though there is not much info or hints about whether this cooperation could expand into something romantic, we're still gonna place it in B tier. Up next, we have Leo and Manchiri. You see, Manchiri has a huge crush on Leo, as seen when she reacted happily when Leo saved her, calling him a knight in shining armor, and even blushing when he caught her. We place this in A tier. On to Shanks and Makino. This theory claims that the very reason Shanks visited Makino back when Luffy ate his devil fruit was because Shanks had a secret relationship with her. In later chapters, Makino is even seen holding a baby, which is theorized to be Makino's and Shanks's. We place this in S tier. Finally, the best ship in all of One Piece is none other than Zoro and Google Maps, a matchup made in heaven and thus deserving to be placed at the top of S tier. Check out this video, where we present 42 secrets you never knew about Nico Robin. Go on, check it out!